Welcome back to another episode of American Heroes Outdoors. This week we head down to Clay County, Iowa for the Pheasants Forever, what's supposed to be the hero hunt. But as you all know, last year in Iowa there was treacherous and disastrous flooding in that region of the state and that region of our nation. So throughout the summer, first responders answered the call to their communities, to their nation, to go out there and to put the efforts in to stop the floods and to save a lot of lives. So as a way of giving back, they decided to kind of transition this a little bit, and this hunt is honoring those first responders who were out there risking their lives on a day-to-day basis during the floods this past year. Really looking forward to it. Should be a great time whenever you get other nonprofits working together to share stories and to honor heroism and sacrifice. It's always a great time. Stay tuned.
American Heroes Outdoors shares the stories of our nation's true heroes, a documentation of journey, commitment, struggle, and healing. A glimpse into the sacrifice and bravery of our service men and women. This is American Heroes Outdoors.
We had our heroes hunt today, and this was an idea that was brought about sometime last spring by Phil Coors, one of our longtime board members, and he said, hey, we do a ladies hunt, we do a youth hunt, why don't we do a vets hunt? And we started talking and thinking about it, and we said, well, instead of just doing a vets hunt, why don't we maybe think about first responders? Started going along that line, was starting to plan for it for this fall, and then the flood hit.
I happen to live on a farm south and east of Spencer. The river runs right through our property. About 200 yards from the river. Had never had water like that on the property.
I was actually off work that day on June 22nd. I was actually coach of my son's travel baseball team. We were supposed to go to a tournament in Minnesota. Tournament got canceled. I said, hey, let's go drive around and look at some of this flooding that's happening, and the magnitude of what was to come, and that was at 6 a.m. that was just to transpire in the next hour and to 2 hours was unreal. I ended up getting called into work. I am the canine handler. I have the narcotics detection dog. And when I got home, I can see him out my back door in his kennel. And I go downstairs and I get dressed, come back up a few minutes later, and he's neck deep in water already. I mean, that's how quick it came at my house.
I was home. I live 8 miles south of Spencer. And I got a call from my son to come and help. And I picked up a neighbor. We made it to the edge of town. By that time, everything was blocked off from the water, and we couldn't make it any farther. Somebody said that they had to go get his mother out of her house, and the water just kept coming up and coming up. So my neighbor and I decided we were going to go home, and I have a couple of boats, a 16-foot and a 14-foot. By the time, let's say 4 or 5 hours into it, I'm guessing there was 25 boats run on and out of that corner. The mall parking lot, when we got there, there was a couple cars parked at the Dunham store. By the time we got back, it was probably a foot. A couple hours later, there was boats running down that parking lot full speed. So that's how fast it came up.
I live on a hill south on the south edge of Spencer, and I work for Clay County Secondary Roads. All the gravel roads around Spencer are kind of our baby to help take care of. My boss called me first thing in the morning when the flood was happening. He said, you need to get to work. I got to the edge of Spencer, couldn't get in. Found out that the Main Street Bridge was impassable. So I talked to a city employee, and he told me that at that time that the only other access across the river, which is on the east edge of Spencer, I pulled out there, which is about 1.5 miles, and I pulled up to the barricade, and I told the fireman that was there, I said, if it's possible, I need to get across this bridge. He said, you should be able to go. He said, don't stop. I went through, got to the other side of town, and that's where I spent 2 days without my wife and my medication and all that. Run a motor grader for 2.5 days, just opening roads so emergency, the true guys could get to where they had to get.
I live along the river. My property actually goes into the river a little bit, right in the heart of Spencer. And we've watched the flood waters over the years at different flood times, and it was quite the experience, quite the morning.
We were focused on the south side as first responders and law enforcement, fire, citizens. I was on the north side. We were trying to figure out a way, how can we get to the south side? And then it dawned on me and another deputy, we live just a block apart from each other. We're the only cops that are on the north side of the river. So we ended up having to stay on the north side in case anything kicked off on that. In our area, we didn't have boats. All the boats, everything was all focused on the south side. We were going door to door, driving as far as we could in our patrol vehicles, getting out and started going door to door and say, listen, we don't know how far it's going to come, but it's getting close. And eventually, later on in the afternoon, we finally were getting some boats to come to the north side. We could say, hey, if you want out, this is your time to get out with assistance. Otherwise, you'll be walking through water.
American Heroes Outdoors is brought to you by Skeeter Boats and Yamaha Outboards, Shields, Disabled American Veterans, Woodland Resort, Smoky Hills Outdoor Store and Ice Castle Fish Houses, Minn Kota and Hummingbird, Innovative Sign and Graphics, and S&S Promotional Group.
After a flood happens, there's tons of unknown. There's lots of rumors. You don't know what to think about, what to do.
Many businesses are closed. Many people were displaced. For many, we still have FEMA trailers in town. So we still have people that are living away from their home, whether it's an apartment or whether it was a home. A number of basements collapsed. So you see a lot of rebuilding, and you see some of the people that aren't rebuilding.
I spent 2 weeks in Louisiana for Katrina, and so I knew what was going to happen. And I saw it again. I saw houses with red X's on them. The only thing that was good, that there was no numbers on those houses. There was just a red X. Because the red X's mean that there's nobody in it. If there's a number on there, somebody died there. Driving through Spencer, I didn't see any numbers. And so it made my heart relieved.
Spencer did a tremendous job. It really showed the connection within our community. People stepped up, neighbors helping neighbors.
The coming together of people is what really stood out to everybody. They're still bringing in goods and services. People like Tide brought in washing machines on trailers and showers, and it's just one thing right after another.
Especially that first week, it didn't matter who you were, it didn't matter, whether you're a friend or a foe. It was everybody came together to help everybody. It's kind of the old saying of, make sure you love your neighbors. You never know when you're going to need their help or they're going to need your help.
We started talking and we said, well, instead of just doing a vets hunt, why don't we maybe think about first responders? Starting to plan for it for this fall. And then we had a historic flood in Spencer and in Clay County and our entire region, really. We regrouped and said, we really need to make sure we do this hunt because first responders were such an important part of the recovery process immediately and then thereafter in Spencer. It timed up really well, just kind of amplified the importance of first responders and helping others and service to others. That's kind of how we got to this point. group is the Clay County Pheasants Forever. So we're part of Pheasants Forever, and we're the 42nd chapter. There's 700 and some chapters for Pheasants Forever across the country. This chapter started back in 1985, so it's 40 years old coming up here soon. We just have a long history of service in the area. We've got about 20 board members, and then we do a lot of different things throughout the year to help, improve habitat and raise funds for, things like this, heroes hunts.
I don't know how we compare to other Pheasants Forever chapters, but we're pretty fortunate that we have a lot of volunteers and board members. Not everybody can make it to every event, but the fortunate part for us is that we have so many people that volunteer. That's what really makes it so easy for us to do multiple things at one event. We have the trap shooting, and then we also have like a pistol or rifle station. Sometimes we have an archery station, and there's other stuff most times when people come to these events, and it kind of explores multiple facets of outdoor sports, hunting and shooting. So it's kind of great that we have that many people that we can put all this stuff on at the same time at one place.
So this particular Pheasants Forever group has done so much for our county. They have helped purchase over 1,000 acres of public ground. This chapter has 2 members that are in the Hall of Fame. There's lots of lifetime work that has been done. I just have always appreciated the time and the effort that they've put in to get us public ground. And that's really important to me because my grandson now has a place to hunt.
We have a really good bunch of committee members. We have men and women. We have young and we have old. I'll be one of the old ones. We get along. We do, quite a few things in the community to help with fundraising, donations, just trying to promote the outdoor life.
We had 10 participants today, and so we were able to put plenty of one-on-one time. Everybody got lots of shots at birds. It was windy conditions, but yet we still got a lot of shots. There were some hits. I think we ended up with, 12 or 15 birds on the ground. So that was fun. A lot of great dog work. So yeah, it couldn't have really went a lot better.
It was a lot of fun. Kind of windy here today, but beautiful day for still being in November and, getting out in the camaraderie and some people that I knew and some people that I didn't, meeting new people and being able to interact and have some fun.
There's some things in the military I don't necessarily always miss, but the one thing that I miss the most is probably the people in it. I think you miss the guys, you miss the camaraderie. I think that's the thing that's special about this. It's kind of the same thing. You get that thing that you're always missing, and bringing new people into the sport, getting somebody that's so excited that they shot their first bird or whatever. I think you're making memories and you're building bonds and friendships that, ultimately last forever and bring the community together.
My son called me and asked me if I wanted to go, which was, a good feeling. Then we decided to bring my grandson. We called ahead and made sure that was okay if he just walked around with us and got to see everybody. And it's great for kids to be around veterans and law enforcement and firemen, all the Pheasants Forever crew that's here to take care of us. And they fed us well. We used all our ammunition, and it went well. This particular Pheasants Forever group does a tremendous job on anything they do.
Bill and Debbie Muller are our hosts here, and this is a incredible facility. Great habitat, really stewards of the area and the ground, and then they have this beautiful barn that we get to come back in and share time with. So there's just tons of laughter, tons of smiles, just lots of great experiences and stories, and it's really just sitting around, and you get to do that in the outdoors.
We're building back. We're getting stronger. We're, working together. There's a lot of businesses that are coming back online finally after getting some rebuild done, but there's obviously some that are still, it's going to take a while. Every situation is going to be different. I hope that we can come back and be a stronger community and be a bigger community through it, but we'll just have to see.
We live in such a wonderful place, a very safe place. We take a lot for granted because life's good, life's easy, life's safe. And that's only because of the great first responders, you know, what our vets have done over the years, what they do every day, and we just don't see it because we don't need to. They're taking care of it for us. It really comes to light, you know, what those people deal with on a daily basis, and it gives you a greater appreciation for that.
Most of the first responders that I know in Spencer, they are true heroes because they don't ask for recognition. They don't ask to be counted. They just do their job.
Welcome back to the show, everyone, and now it's time for our next Shields hometown hero, Lonnie Grabowska.
Hey everyone, it's Melissa with Bismarck Shields, and we are here to honor Lonnie Grabowska for our next Shields hometown hero.
Welcome to Shields Hometown Heroes.
Shields Hometown Heroes is a way for us to say thanks to those that serve our country and our community.
And are still giving back to others today.
We honor your service by sharing your stories.
From all of us at Shields, thank you for your service.
Nice to meet you, Lonnie. Melissa from Shields.
Hi, Melissa. Nice to meet you. That's quite the bunch.
I bet you weren't expecting all that, huh, Lonnie?
No, it was supposed to be just maybe one person.
Yeah?
That's all I was hoping for. Him, maybe.
Yeah? Well, your family and friends all gathered us here today, and Lonnie, as all of us here at Shields, we would like to honor you this year as our Shields hometown hero. So thank you for all you do in our community, along with your service, and we appreciate that.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
And there's a medal.
I met Lonnie years ago. He actually volunteered to be the chaplain with the Bismarck Fire Department and helping the crews and helping the members of the fire department through stressful situations. There's no words to explain his character. He's unbelievable. One of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life, and somebody that generally cares for everybody.
To me, he's the epitome of a leader. I mean, he's selfless. You know, the word I always do is selfless because he's always thinking about everybody else. You know, you look at his law enforcement, he's out there to protect people. I mean, he's a deacon for a reason. He understands that. He understands the compassion, but he's also the protector. I mean, that's what he does. That's why he's in law enforcement. I think it's the brotherhood, and I want to protect the community. He's the bar that I look at, you know, that I want to be as a father, as a husband, as a man.
So I would say around 8th or 9th grade, I felt this kind of calling to that. I just knew I was going to go into the military. And then Dad had been in the Army. I said, hey, Dad, I'm going to go look at the military. And he goes, okay, and that's fine. And go in and talk to him, talk to the recruiter, but don't sign anything. I said, sure. So I went into the Navy, just signed up. And I came home and I said, yeah, Daddy, I need you to sign this. He's like, why am I signing that? I said, because I joined the Navy. He's like, all right, great.
Well, he was kind of rambunctious, but he always wanted to progress or do something. He wasn't just satisfied with every day-to-day thing. Has always been a go-getter, you know, and he knew what he wanted, and he just simply went after it.
So I was in the Navy for 4 years, and 3 of it on the submarine, and the longest we went without coming up was probably about 91 days. So I was lucky enough to be one of the boat drivers during battle stations. Some of those missions took us into areas that got a little hairy. When I got out of the Navy, I decided to go into the fire service, where I wanted to do dive team, some type of dive team, because I was a diver in the Navy too. And so I thought, I'll do one of those two. So I kind of told myself, whatever gets an air tank on me first, either the fire department for a dive team with a sheriff's office or something, that's what I want to do. Applied for the Morton County Sheriff's Office, and lucky enough, I got on the dive team with them then. So I kind of satisfied that need to have that tank on my back. I guess it was a weird thing for me at the time. Went to Mandan Police Department, went through the academy, joined the SWAT team then, stayed on the dive team for a bit with them yet, but then got off that to concentrate on SWAT team. And then I did 4 years on the streets, and then went to investigations. And when I was in investigations, I found, I think, my niche, my kind of ultimate calling in law enforcement. I felt very drawn to the investigative side. I liked the narcotics investigations, and I really enjoyed just a full investigation. So in 2011, I became deputy director, and then I became director in 2018. I'm the director of BCI, so I'm the director of the Bureau of Criminal Investigation.
He works hard. He's sincere. He's a guy that what you see is what you get. He's fair, honest. I guess I'd have to just say how proud we are of him and what he has achieved.
My biggest advice to anybody I would offer is you need to take care of your family. They are the root of everything, and have a faith base. Because those two combined, a strong family and a faith base, are what gets you through the long, hard days. That's in the military, that's in law enforcement, that's in any job. You see so many people right now crumbling because they don't have any basis to turn to. When you know you've always got somebody there caring for you through your faith or through your family, it just carries you through the hard day.
Well, another great episode. It was awesome to watch. It was awesome to be a part of it. You know, when communities come together after a natural disaster or after any kind of disaster, it's really interesting to see the bonds that are formed, and it really means a lot to give back to those who've given so much, and they really aren't expecting anything in return. They're just doing their job on a day-to-day basis, and that's what makes American Heroes Outdoors so enjoyable, is being able to get out there and showcase these great stories while we're out there hunting, and it's just a lot of fun. Stay tuned next week for another episode of American Heroes Outdoors.